Exactly 1 year ago, I reviewed the Zelos Hammerhead 3. And what I've got here in my hand is the brand new Zelos Hammerhead 3, but in bronze. And upon first inspection, upon looking at this watch visually, for me, this is an ugly duckling. It's not a pretty watch. And look, there's two reasons I say that. The first Hammerhead 3 that I reviewed, it wasn't my cup of tea. I mentioned that in the video. So it's not my style of watch. And to me, this is no different. However, being in bronze, I'm looking at this long term. I'm looking at this watch slightly differently because we know that bronze patinas over time. Now, I've had this for a week, and as you can see that the color of the bronze it seemed to have dulled up a little bit, which is nice, which is actually what I want this watch to do. Over time, this thing's going to change color. It's going to darken up. It's going to have a patina, and you know what? All you're going to see is a burnt orange dial with a dark case. And I think that's why this is the ugly duckling, because it's going to mature into a beautiful swan. Let's check it out. Welcome back, guys. You saw the pop-up. This video is sponsored by Zelos. They've sent me this watch. We don't have to send it back. Apart from that, they have no other input into this review. So I'm going to get stuck into it, guys, because like I said in the first review last year, the specs of this watch, they haven't changed. It's the exact same watch. So case diameter, we've got a 44mm case diameter, 14.8mm case height, a lug-to-lug distance of 48.5, and a lug width of 22mm. Now the crown is a 6.8mm loomed, signed, screw-down crown, which provides 300 meters of water resistance, and the weight, as it is on this rubber strap, comes in at exactly 138 grams. Now, true to form with all the watches that I get on the channel for review, I wear them. And I wear them for at least several days, 4 or 5 days. If I can a week, I'll wear it for a week. And the reason I say that is because you get a feel for the watch, you get a feel on how it actually sits on the wrist, how it behaves in different lighting conditions. And I think it just does it justice for yourself as well as for you guys, for the viewer looking at this watch. Because what I've got here, as much as I didn't enjoy the first Hammerhead being on a bracelet coming in at about 205 grams, this watch here I have enjoyed. It's coming in at 138 grams. It's been a pleasurable experience. The strap itself, it's an FK, well, it feels like an FKM rubber. It molds to the wrist beautifully. You got a fantastic tang buckle, again in bronze. And I think the overall experience, albeit an ugly duckling, and I say ugly duckling because that bronze is shining at the moment, and that burnt orange dial is also giving you that vibrancy. So there's too much going on at the moment. But like I said at the intro, when that bronze case and surrounds and crown start to dull down, they start to patina, I think this is going to be an exceptional looking piece. All you're going to see is burnt orange, fume dial sunburst with a beautiful dark case. It's going to work, and it's going to work well. Now the bezel on this watch has not changed. It's still a 120 click unidirectional. It's got a ceramic insert, lume filled, and the action again is spectacular. It's tight, but it's precise. You can hear this. In fact, I remember on the first Hammerhead, I couldn't actually move the bezel because of the actual end links on the bracelet were in the way. So I mentioned in that review that it was a little bit difficult to grab. This is the complete opposite, and it's only opposite because the actual rubber strap is malleable. So you can actually get your hands in there. As you can see, it's crisp. There's no back play, nothing, and it lines up spot on. Perfect. If I turn the watch over and have a look at that case back, you can see that it still features the same Hammerhead sharks. Nice. It's stainless steel, as you can see, so that's to avoid any sort of skin discoloration or reactions to the actual bronze itself. And you'll find that's pretty much normal on bronze watches. As for the first Hammerhead 3, this particular one in bronze, it's exactly the same as far as movement's concerned. So it still features the Seiko NH35 instruments. We'll unscrew that crown, and that crown coming in at 6.8mm, the knurling is brilliant. Again, I mentioned this in my first review of the Hammerhead. This feels like a particular instrument. You'd go to a toolbox, you'd pull out a tool. This is what it feels like. It feels like a tool. Everything about it is just, all the tolerances are nice. The winding experience is lovely. It's tight. It's tight, it's crisp, it's built well. So I can't express that enough on how good the quality of this brand. And I generally, across the board, all the Zelos watches that I've got on this channel, they've all been fantastic as far as their tolerances, their build quality, their finishing, especially at these price points. Really impressed. And speaking of price point, this watch is going to be launched at a starting price of $349. So now you know why these things sell out straight away. But I digress. Let's get back onto that crown and movement. If we pull it out twice, as you can see, we've hacked the movement. We can adjust the time, lock that in just there, the movement starts. A single click will allow us to actually change the date. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, lock that in. The winding experience is quite nice. Good resistance from the NH35, and the latch down experience, again, it feels like a tool. It's buttery smooth. You can feel the tolerances are beautiful. Really impressed with this brand. I always have been from the first watch I got, and there's no difference even in bronze. The packaging of the actual watch has also changed. Originally they used to have wooden boxes, as you remember. Now they come with an aluminium steel looking case, which is quite interesting because it allows you to put several watches in here, which is pretty cool. So that's quite a nice welcome addition as a little travel case. And if you notice the watch, it came packaged in an actual bag, sealed. Being a bronze case, as soon as this starts getting out into the air, the oxygen, the elements, skin, oils and all the rest, it's going to start to oxidize, it's going to start to patina. They've sent the watch out in a sealed plastic bag so that you get a fresh watch just as it came out of the factory. Now the lume on the watch hasn't changed, guys. It's still exceptional. It's a combination of C3 and BGW9, and that crown is also loomed. And it's a torch, it's a flashlight. It's really bright, very legible, easy to see, easy to navigate your way around that dial. So again, there's a lot of pluses happening on this watch. So speaking of pluses, speaking of negatives, you know what? I'm gonna be straight up, guys. This is one of those watches where I'm actually struggling to find negatives on this watch. And I don't like the watch. I said it in my first review of the Hammerhead 3. It's not my style. It's not my cup of tea as far as a style of watch. And yet I'm struggling to find technical faults on this watch, because if you look at the watch itself, legibility is great, the tolerances are fantastic, the build quality, the bezel, the ceramic, the lume, everything's good about this watch. Really, really good on a good level. So if I had to be nitpicky, okay, I could say, look, it's got an NH35, maybe put a Miyota high beat or a Swiss movement in this, but then you're gonna alter that price. So for $349, FKM rubber strap, a nice solid brass tang buckle, I think this is gonna age and age very well. And I said it at the beginning, it's the ugly duckling, and it's gonna turn into an interesting, lovely swan. Maybe if I was being critical, another negative, I could possibly say, you know what, include drilled lugs. If they put drilled lugs in this, I think it'd be a lot easier to do strap changes. Not that you'd pretty much want to take it off. This rubber strap is wonderful. I think it's suited, but it also feels comfortable. I've had this on the wrist for a week. It's been comfortable. It's been a no-brainer. Once that bronze starts to patina, I think this is going to be superb. Now, what are the positives of this watch? Well, guys, very simple, Zelos. And the reason I say that, they're built well, their tolerances are great, they've got unique designs, as you can see. They've even got a cult-like status, you know, a following. People follow these watches, they collect them. They only come in limited numbers of 300 pieces per colorway, and there's quite a few colorways. So I'm actually glad I got a chance to see this in the flesh, the bronze and the burnt orange, because I think 6 months, 12 months down the track, this thing here is going to look completely different and change its character, which is lovely. That's the feature of all bronze watches, but especially having a burnt orange dial and this sort of legibility, this is going to look cool. This is going to look very cool. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review. That's my honest thoughts of what I think of this watch. It's a Zelos. It's the Hammerhead 3 in bronze, in burnt orange, the ugly duckling that one day is going to be beautiful. Thanks for watching.